Welcome to
Women, Music, Power,
a podcast celebrating the voices, journeys, and artistry of women in music. I'm Leah Hinchcliffe.
And I'm Mariana Thielen.
And this is our love letter to the women who shaped us, the legends, the unsung heroes, the ones still carving their path.
So tune in, turn it up, and join us as we celebrate the power of women in music.
We don't wield it, it's in our groove. We don't stand still, got to move. We just live it, don't have to prove. If you know, you know. If you don't, we'll show you the way. 'Cause power is in our play.
Women, music, power.
Hey, Mariana.
Hi, Leah.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. I did a little baking today.
Yeah, your house smells amazing. What are those delicious looking things?
I made some York. Well, not York, but I mean, they're like a peppermint patty bar, but they're homemade. So they have like a cookie crust and then a mint layer and then more chocolate on top.
Oh my God. People can't see me, but my eyes are rolling back in my head. That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Speaking of desserts, we are coming up on my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving.
What are you doing?
We're going to have a small gathering of people at my house. We often have a large gathering of people. Yeah. And this year, it's just going to be 5 of us and 5 people, 4 dogs, 2 cats. Yeah.
That's a good ratio.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Keeps everybody busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cook some good food, and we all like to play games.
That's nice. That sounds really lovely and chill.
What about you?
We're going to Olympia to see Reese's family, and we will be, there will be 7, maybe 8 people, and 2 dogs.
Yeah, perfect. I'm excited about it because I love this holiday. I love hanging out with my friends and my family. Yeah. I'm really excited too because Rachel is coming up.
Yes.
And she's been one of my favorite people for a couple of years. And I love that we got to have her on the podcast and find out even more interesting, intimate details about her life and about her growing up in Branson. That was just really interesting.
She got some great stories about being backstage while her parents were performing. I'm really grateful to you because you introduced me to her and her music's incredible. Shortly after our interview, we all went and saw her at Ron Tom's. Right. She did a CD release show and it was amazing. It was mind-blowing.
Yeah, she had a stage full of incredible musicians and she had arranged all this music for them. And she was just standing up front like this brilliant star. It was so beautiful. So.
Yeah, she is so excellent. And I even remember that night that we saw her, she made a point to say, I wrote these songs, I arranged these, and was owning it. And she said, I shouldn't have to say this, but I do, because people don't give credit to women in that way. And she had a lot of students there. So I think she was really empowering people to be excellent and to take ownership over what they've done.
She's empowering herself and all of us.
Yes.
Well, let's talk to Rachel.
All right. Here is Rachel Brashear.
We are absolutely thrilled to have a conversation with one of my personal heroes, Rachel Brashear. Rachel is a powerhouse musician whose music is sophisticated, charming, it's edgy, and today we're going to be playing a few of her tunes and diving into the stories behind them. Her new album, The Death of the Ingenue, is out. And the first single, The Things You Forgot, is an incredible piece that showcases her immense talent. Rachel received a grant from Music Portland's Echo Fund, which she used to produce her latest album. I first discovered Rachel back in the pre-pandemic days at a show where my band, Girl Haggard, was opening for her band, Doll Party. It was a Dolly Parton tribute band, And I had heard great things about her, but nothing prepared me, really. And she blew my mind. Shortly thereafter, we got to be bandmates, and much to my delight and my appreciation for all things Rachel deepened even further. She grew up in a very musical family, performing alongside her parents at the famed theaters in Branson.
Oh, cool.
She's a very skilled composer and a vocalist, a producer, a multi-instrumentalist. Her voice is angelic, it's commanding, it's haunting. Let's celebrate Rachel and find out a little bit more about her.
Yes. Wow. Welcome.
I'm going to cry. Oh my God. Didn't expect all that.
Oh.
Thank you, Leah.
Yeah.
That's very meaningful to me.
Good.
You know, that is, as musicians, we're always pushed forward by our crippling self-doubt.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to hear positive things from people, from your peers, you know, not just a fan, which is wonderful. It's meaningful, but someone that you know knows music inside and out saying that is really very meaningful.
I had heard your name around, and we all kind of get siloed into our own little, cliques or places we play. And it's just incredible to think that right in my community is this artist that I haven't even really gotten to know. And listen to this music. It's incredible.
Yeah, I know that happens to me all the time. I'm like, how did I not know you? We're coexisting in this community. Like you said, we just kind of stay in our bubble and we don't even realize until our bubbles start to overlap.
That's why I'm very grateful that Leah has had the vision for this podcast, because there's going to be a lot of overlapping bubbles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
So, Rachel, tell us a little bit about your life. Where did you start? What's your experience?
It's a long story, Leah. What do you, how far back do I start?
Leah said you performed with your family. I'm curious about that. What was that like?
So, my parents were, I guess they still are, but semi-retired professional musicians. And they met because my grandpa was a musician and would play in Western swing bands around Oklahoma City or the Oklahoma area. And my mom played with him and his band from the time she was a kid. She played drums and bass. And my grandpa met my dad because he was the band director of the Oklahoma Opry, which was pretty cool. And he's an excellent guitar player. And my grandpa introduced them and thought you two would be a great couple. And so they ended up immediately getting married and having kids. And so I kind of have a thread there, not, endless generations, but a few generations back. And I had an uncle on that side of the family who was a pretty successful musician and had a few different bands that were doing really well. And then my dad's side, my uncles were musicians on that side too. So it was just the way we were, how you don't question it. It's just like, oh, everybody's like this, right? I started playing the fiddle when I was around 8. And I would play that with my grandpa's band. And when we were little kids, we had to get on stage at Christmas time and sing Christmas songs and all the shows my parents played at. And the rest of the time, we'd just hang out in the dressing room, the ladies' dressing room. And so I would meet all these random people, like Conway Twitty would be coming through, because my parents were in the house band back in the day where there'd be house bands, Yeah. They would open the show and then there would be guest artists. So I got to meet all these people I thought were really creepy and lame at the time. Like, one of my favorite stories is my sister and I were playing backstage during the show, just right behind, the curtain with our Cabbage Patch dolls. Yeah. It was the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And Waylon Jennings happened to be the guest. Yeah. And we didn't know who he was. And he walks off stage after his set and he just looks down at us and he's terrifying giant guy with a hat and a beard. And he just said, "Where'd you get them ugly baby dolls?" And then just walked away.
That is the best story. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So just little things like that that we took for granted, I guess. We didn't think it was that exciting. We thought this music's kind of old and these people are weird. Porter Wagner would be there a lot in the outfit and everything. And I'm like, ooh. Now I can appreciate it. But as a kid, I thought, I don't know about this. But in spite of that, as a kid, I was totally enamored with the experience, the music and the theater and everything to do with that. I loved it. And one of my earliest memories of that is just watching the band rehearse, just sitting in the empty theater and thinking, what is this magic that they're doing? I don't understand how they're all playing something different and it's all blending together. and it's making one thing, and that just blew my mind. And it was like in that moment, I don't know how old I was, 6 or 7. I was like, I have to figure this out. I have to figure it out. I was just hooked, musically obsessed from a young age is a good way to put it. Maybe you all relate to that.
And so you said you started fiddle at age 8. Did your parents bring you up on stage when you were young, or was that like how was that for you?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I sounded horrible at the time. I wasn't any good, but I was cute. Like, my parents played in these shows probably 6 days a week, 2 shows a day. And so we would have babysitters if we didn't go to the show with them. And I remember some of our babysitters, it was a family, and they had a little boy who would like play guitar and sing. And he must have been like 7 years old. I don't know. That that was a thing back then, to have like a kid.
Yeah.
And they had a fiddle, and they're like, do you guys want this fiddle? And so we're at their house, and I pick it up, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. And I didn't know how to do it. My dad and some of his friends would kind of help me until I took violin lessons. But yeah, right away they're like, okay, well, we're going to Oklahoma for Christmas, so we're going to play at the Opry and you're going to play Jingle Bells. I'm like, ah.
Okay.
Wow. That's
So
really
you would have like featured spots as a kid suddenly be.
Yeah, they would be like, here come. And my parents used a different last name. They had like a show name. So my dad's middle name was Kent, like Clark Kent. So that we were called the Kent Girls.
Okay.
And my sister and I would go out in our little matching outfits and, struggle through a Christmas song with our little kid voices,
Oh my gosh.
And then once I started playing the violin, it was just like people like to see that little tiny little kid
Yeah.
in a cute dress and whatever. So
Yeah.
it was a bit of a novelty,
Yeah.
but I liked it. I was
I
like,
bet.
I'm one of them now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys were in Branson, correct?
Yeah, we moved there when I was 5.
Okay.
And then we lived there mostly until, my parents lived there after I moved out of the house. We lived outside Nashville briefly and moved back to Oklahoma City a little bit.
That was their gig. Was it always the same theater?
No. So it's kind of like you can imagine like in Vegas where there's all these different theaters and they might change ownership or performers, or usually they would get hired by some artist that decided they were going to go try to set up shop in Branson and they needed a good band and they'd audition people and they'd get hired for that. And it was seasonal, 9 months out of the year. And then 3 months we'd be eating beans and cornbread because they didn't have any work or, unemployment or anything. So
Yeah.
Wow.
it was a slog for them, I think. But they wanted to do that because they didn't want to be on the road. They didn't want to be touring when they had little kids at home. And they didn't want to be playing in nasty bars till 2 a.m. So they thought, well, if we go to this place, it's like a family environment and we can work during the day. And I'm not sure how they feel about that now, if it panned out, but
Well, it seems like a good opportunity. That to be able to actually work as a musician in a way that is consistent work and raise your family and not be worried about it. I love that.
yeah, regular pay.
Probably better than the bars that we play in, hopefully.
Yeah, they would still do that too. And sometimes even underage, they'd be like, hey, we're going out to this bar gig. Why don't you come? Because then my dad would be like, I want you to see the band. And this guy's really good. You got to see. And so I would just be there, like the kind of bars where there's sometimes chicken wire.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And I'm just sitting over there. And my parents are just like, if an old man asks you to dance, don't do it.
Oh, gee.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was
Wow.
fun.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, my God.
That's such a unique upbringing. How many people have,
Yeah. It's taken me a while to process it and glean all the positives from it because there was a lot of negatives about being in a place like that growing up as a teen.
Yeah.
It's a small town, a tourist trap, that maybe the population was 7,000 to 10,000 people, but then during the summer it'd be like 5 million people in this tiny town. And, it was weird, but I'm okay with it now. Come to terms with the good things.
Yeah, good. Wow.
So how did you start to kind of establish your own artistic voice?
Right around the time I was 11, I started playing the guitar and the piano more, and I started listening to Bob Dylan, and I got like a Joni Mitchell record for like $1, and I had the little suitcase record player that was terrible, The needle is probably 40 years old on it. I don't know. But I would listen to that and I was like, oh, this is a different world of songwriting. Yeah. And I'd been playing, my sister and I would kind of have our little early 90s grunge bands where we play Hole and Nirvana. And she wanted to play guitar. She's a good drummer. My sister is. Yeah. And she's like, well, you can play bass. She just told me that. Yeah. She'll hate me saying this, but it's true. She wanted to play guitar. Yeah. So we would do that and we would have fun. We would occasionally play on stage, but not very much. Just do it for ourselves and goof off. But I was like secretly in my room, like, oh, I'm going to start writing these songs and I'm going to be this really cool, I don't know what I thought, hip person, right? I'm going to be an artist. So I started delving into that, and I met my best friend in 8th grade, and her dad was Glenn Campbell's band director.
Oh, wow.
And so she came from the same world. And we were like, okay, we're the same. No one else gets it but us. Like, so we would just take our guitars all around town in Branson. You can't really walk there because it's like mountainous. So we would try to walk all around with our guitars and we just go in coffee shops and be like, we're going to play in here and just play like half a Bob Dylan song or whatever we
nice.
And then through that friendship, I just started to get really, really into like, this is who I am. This is who I am. It's undoubtable. I finally found it. And then I started playing in a show with my parents, like a matinee, playing piano with the band. I couldn't believe they were like, why don't you come play piano for $50 a show? It's like, oh my God. I was rich back then.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah.
And then I would play every Sunday night in a coffee shop in Springfield, which is like a little college town. And I think I made a little bit of money there. So I was like, okay, I'm doing the thing.
You're already a pro.
Yeah, I was on stage and I was like so over high school at that point. I was like, why am I here when I'm already doing the things I want to do? And there was absolutely nothing in high school that supported my music. I was in like choir. That was it, you know? So it's like, there's no reason for me to be here. And I just dropped out of high school. Because the high school was not very supportive. They're like, well, if you don't want to, whatever you want to do, we don't offer. Just basically told me to leave, which is very weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I was like, well, school of hard knocks. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you were going back and forth between kind of what you were discovering on your own, but still playing with your parents. Did you feel, was that hard to go back and forth?
It was all the same thing. In a way.
Okay. So
it was just like, this is music. This is me playing. This is me doing it. And I'm learning. And, you know, friends I'm trying to impress don't need to know that I was just playing country music yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, I just was at that age. I wasn't sure. Like, I don't want people to pigeonhole me or think that I'm just some country bumpkin or something. You know, it was kind of an era where being a country musician was starting to be like made fun of. I don't know, like late 90s into early 2000s. I felt like it was definitely wasn't hip. Like it is now. Like there's been this huge resurgence.
Right.
Where everybody's trying to be country.
But that is interesting because when I met you, it was in a country context.
Yeah.
When you were playing with Doll Party, which was, tell me about that. That was a super fun band. I only saw you guys once, but I was like, what
it was
happening?
Maybe like 1 to 2 years that we did that band. And I think that one of the people in the band was asked to put the band together to do some kind of event at the Fixin' 2 in St. John's. They wanted some cover bands or something like that, or it was Dolly's birthday. And so my friend was the one putting it together, and another person couldn't do it that they asked. And she's like, well, do you think you could play guitar like this? And I was like, yeah.
Maybe.
Little thing you don't know about me. But I hadn't really played lead country guitar other than just with my family, you know, playing around with my dad, him showing me stuff. I moved back to Oklahoma for college before I moved to Portland. And my dad and I played a lot of gigs together when I lived there, just, you know, wherever, private parties, or we'd play at like this Brazilian cafe a lot. So I really like kind of honed some guitar chops that I didn't have before that, which was really nice. So then when I came here, I'd spent a couple of years just like playing with somebody that was pushing me to be better. But then I was trying to just do my own music, mostly play piano. But then they were like, well, you want to do this Dolly Parton thing? And I was like, oh, okay. But it was really fun. We just started doing it. We all dressed like Dolly. So it was totally over the top. And we played a bunch of sold out shows around town. But like any cover band, I think it kind of has its lifespan. And it just kind of faded out like things do, you know.
Tell me about going to school, because I know that you went to music school in Oklahoma.
Yes. At the time, I had 2 young kids. Just kind of had some life changes happen. I ended up having to move back to Oklahoma, where all my family lived, which I swore I would never do. No offense to them. I had just moved on in my life, you know. I lived in the Kansas City area for a long time, around Lawrence, Kansas. Great music community. I loved it there. And then I ended up kind of having a year of upheaval. And so I ended up in Oklahoma City, and I was like, well, I'm only going to go there if I can do something drastic to make my life better, because I was not in a great place. Single mom without any resources, and I just was starting to feel like everything I was trying to do I was hitting all these roadblocks and getting really depressed and frustrated that like I couldn't get a job that would pay me enough to pay for childcare. And I was like, I gotta go home.
Yeah.
I gotta go do it. But I found a school there, a music school, and I always wanted to go to music school so bad. But I didn't want to go to like a conservatory. Even though I have taken classical lessons and I can play that kind of stuff, that's not my goal in life. I knew I didn't want to study that way. And I found a school there called the Academy of Contemporary Music, and it was attached to the University of Central Oklahoma. The coursework is like songwriting, music business, production, like a wide swath of things that actually would be good for me, you know, and helpful for me. And I thought, well, I'm going to get some job. I'm going to kind of rent a little house and get this going and go to school full time. So I started teaching piano lessons, of course, and piano, guitar, violin, whatever, and enrolled in school, got into this school and just hit the ground running. And I got a bachelor's from there after 4 years, after single momming it the whole time.
Wow.
And building a music career. But the nice thing was the school was like, you're here in the school, you're starting your career. We're here to help you. So they had a whole business department. The school was started by the Flaming Lips manager, Scott Booker, and he's the CEO of the school. So some of the Flaming Lips characters are involved with it.
Oh, cool.
And so one of them was in charge of the business department, and he really helped me get gigs. And I started to I could do recording for free in the state-of-the-art studios with my classmates, and it just took off. I mean, I was gigging, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a month to like 10 times a month, depending on the season. And I put out an album, and I got connected with a great producer that was a teacher at the school. And I was 30 years old. So I was not messing around.
Yeah.
It's like, I got kids, I got mouths to feed.
Yeah.
I got to put gas in my car. I got to get to my gig. I got to be able to buy the gear I need. And so I was hustling, you know, like I that was like my time of life where I came out of the ashes like a phoenix, you know, and that's what that album is kind of that whole time.
Is it the cave one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think when you listen to it, you can kind of sense that probably, that it's tumultuous, you know, really painful, dark times, turning it into something good. And I kind of felt like a hero after that. I really thought, man, I did it. And I knew I could. And I had to get a GED just to go to college because of my high school experience, you know, and I like nailed that GED. I got into college, 4.0, cum laude, performance student of the year, surrounded by all these like 18 to 21-year-old, mostly males.
Yeah.
And I just smoked them.
Yeah.
Amazing. Right on. Yes.
So I will always brag about that. But it was great. I mean, I earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't just talent. It was effort, work, craft, all of that stuff I put into that. So it was a game changer for me, but it was like part of what I always wanted to do. But I got kind of, as a woman, like trapped in some bad situations in my life through being young and naive. And, you know, I guess it's kind of pertinent to talk about this stuff because a lot of my music is about it.
Yeah.
Overcoming the patriarchy.
Yeah.
That's really inside a lot of what I write and who I am. And that experience really gave me the strength, helped me see like I have the freedom. I can be free of all this stuff and be loud about it and just run forward.
I think we should listen to a song and talk about it.
Is this big enough? Is this hard enough for you? fall for you. If I swing my hips to the big drum hits, will the people stop talking and talking? Listen, does it fit the mold of the crusty and old chosen few? I try to be soft, but my skin thin as hella crack boy. I try to be all the things you forgot, but I couldn't help it. If it's so.
Hey, we just heard The Things You Forgot.
So I have been trying to write songs that express a certain thing for a long time, and I was trying to figure out the right way to say it, the right way to address the fact that I think in the music world and in many other industries and artistic spheres, we have these ideals and these implied qualities that are required for it to be good, to be valid, and they were all created by certain types of people who all agree with each other. And so how can we, other people who don't fit into these identities, be held up to those standards when they were created not for us, with us in mind? In fact, they were created with a lot of our traits, thoughts, feelings, ideas labeled as negative. So as a female musician, I've always had people criticize me or say this or say that. You know, men are quick to just be dismissive or critical because they think they have the right to, because music is their world, right? It has been for a long time. Maybe not everybody realizes that now because it is better, but it was really bad. You know, when I was coming of age. So a lot of the things that are considered feminine or looked down upon, you know, so things like being soft, like your voice is too soft, or your guitar is too soft, or this or that or the other. It's not aggressive enough. Everything has to be balls to the wall all the time. Like that's the defining traits of good musicians, is that you play fast, loud, and complicated, right? And it's just like, I don't believe that. So I was on this mission to figure out what I was trying to do artistically was to create the most intensity through softness, through these other ways of being that I couldn't escape. You know, like my body is squishy and soft. You know, my feelings maybe are more tender sometimes. And not that men aren't all those things too, but felt like I wasn't allowed to be those things. And I spent a lot of years, some of my music before Songs from a Cave was like a rock band. You know, I played electric guitar. It was loud. I liked that. I like to rock. This is part of me too, but I started to feel like I was trying to fit into that so much, and I was never going to be good enough because I always had these other elements that I thought were important, vulnerability or other areas to explore. And so I decided, I was like, honestly, fuck that. How deep can I go into these other places? And so a lot of the songs that I've written are very intimate, slow, soft, whatever, because I like to explore that place. But this one, I was like, well, the music, it's going to have hardness to it, but the lyrics are going to be very much about this, exploring that and questioning who decides what is good. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the currency here? It's really heavy-handed.
Yeah.
But I wanted it to be, boom, right out of the gate. Is this hard enough?
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. Well, I do. I love the juxtaposition of the music, which is, you know, really, it's intense and evocative and just like super cinematic. And I think we were talking earlier, it has a little Tom Waits in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of just a little sideways when you think it's one thing and it's not. It's this other
totally.
thing. I love that. I love the way it starts. This is one of my favorite things, when the drums are playing kind of straight.
Yes.
And then the other stuff comes in and it's got this swing to it. And it's just the tension between those two things is just, it's delicious. I love that.
That's what we were kind of practicing it with Aaron on bass and Rivka on drums, and I was like, bear with me, guys, this is a weird song, but I hadn't really come up with the drum part. Yeah. And Rivka's a great jazz drummer, so she's just playing all these great things. I'm like, it's too much. Like I said, just play AC/DC. Oh,
nice.
Just boots, cuts, boots, cuts, you know. So the bass is swinging in like a 6/8 feel.
Yeah.
Drums are playing in the 4/4 feel. So then the hi-hats on the quarter notes in 4/4. So it's, you know, displaced, syncopated over the 6/8. So it's really cool.
It is. I love it so much. It just drew me right in. I was like, oh, this is going to be really good.
Yeah. And I have to give credit to Aaron. He was like, well, when we're doing the chorus and we've got this groove happening, we need to put the accent ba-dunk, ba-dunk. Because I was doing it da-dunk, da-dunk. And he was like, no, do it the other way. And it's going to kind of add to that groove with the drums and kind of give that like turning on the, you know, twisting the like you've got to be this sexy lady. That's one of your things as a female musician. You better be sexy. Yeah. You know, I'm like, and so the song is kind of like, well, here's your sex for you. Is this how you wanted to hear it? You know, I didn't think so. It's you and saying, okay, well, you know. And my favorite lyric from it, which is the crusty and old chosen few part, like I was thinking about like all of these old rock and roll guys who are just nasty. Yeah. And how they're heroes and how they're considered like somehow they created this idea that they have sex appeal and everybody just went along with it. And I'm like, and they're the ones who are dictating what is good music and what is bad music. Right. They're the litmus, you know? Right. And yet I have lived my whole life under this scrutiny of potential fault or imperfection. I can't be wrinkly, crusty, nasty, old. Like all of those things. I was just pissed off about that. And I was like, they don't get to tell me what's good and bad. These guys, I don't care what they think. It's like time for us to just abolish that patriarchal umbrella over our art. You know? It's just impressive to have enough self-awareness as a woman, because we've been taught this for so long that I think, you know, for me, I'm a little older than you guys. It's taken me longer to go, hey, wait a minute, this isn't right. At what point did you go, oh, this is not right and I'm not going to follow that? I think I was born that way. I was born a little, just, I didn't want anybody to tell me what to do, you know, not necessarily in an angry way, just like, why can't I do what I want? Why can't I be who I am? Always that feeling. I don't know why. You know, I was raised by, my mom was a musician. She was doing that thing too. And although I don't think she was overt in that, I think it was still something I saw. And I was like, well, she's doing it. You know, my dad respects her. And as a musician, is like, yeah, she's my peer and she's as good as all these other people. And so I think that was kind of there a little bit in that. And I saw her suffer a lot too. So just because she was a woman musician, she didn't get the respect. Oh yeah. Or, you know, her weight or her makeup or her hair or whatever, you know, she would not get gigs. Oh my God. You know, because of it, or just have people say shitty things to her about it. And like, I mean, we've all gone through it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And if you're the only woman in your field that isn't just like trying to be a lead singer, you're going to get it all. Yeah, it's just like a constant like, how do I interface with this and also be a musician and do my job and be authentic to myself? It's really complicated. Yeah, and I've had friends and peers and people I love dearly, and I watch them struggle with this, and I've seen a lot of them not be able to overcome it and still be caught up in the world of, you know, how they look, unfortunately. Like it's so powerful that even these women who are so talented, I have so much respect for them. It breaks my heart because I've seen women be stunted or just be stuck because they can't get past that. You know, I mean, we can't get past it. I don't know what, I haven't gotten past it. I'm just yelling about it all the time. You know, it's so much extra mental load and so much extra time that goes into having to think about that men don't even realize that we have to spend time doing that. And, I like dressing up. I like presenting myself artistically in a way that goes with what I'm saying. That's an important part of it for me.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do it because I have to. I don't want to. But there's still all those thoughts in there all the time. You know, well, getting too fat, getting too wrinkly, got gray hair, like things I personally don't care about and I love and embrace, but I know it's there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I know it's
And
still...
if you don't know, someone will point it out to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or I just know that my career is where it's at because I didn't participate in these systems, you know? If I wasn't a single mom throughout my college experience and my career at that time, I would have made a lot more progress in my life. And it was always just like, well, you chose to be a single mom. I'm like, not really. I didn't choose for the world to punish me every chance it could for being that thing, you know?
I mean, and just to realize how much strength and perseverance and energy it takes to be a good mom and do all these other things for yourself. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
How do you feel about where you are now, though, despite that? Do you wish that things had gone a certain way, or are you feeling content?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I'm old enough now to not bother with regret. I've never really been too caught up in regret. I'm just like, keep moving forward. I like what I do. You know, I'm like artistically better than I've ever been. I have achieved an artistic level that I've strived for in my whole life. And it took me 40 years to get there. And all these experiences took me there. So that's satisfying. That's really meaningful to me. And the state of the music industry, I have zero faith in any kind of like financial level of success because it's just not a thing. Yeah. And I think fame is toxic. It's not like I would ever aspire for that. Where I'm at artistically is great. And where I am in my community and the people I know and the other people I get to play with, like to me, my standard of pride is like I'm playing with people I respect, like Leah, that I look up to, that I'm honored to be asked to play with you. Like, wow, I made it. People that I think are great are asking me to play with them.
Yeah.
I finally made it at that level. But that's kind of from my background too, of being raised by musicians who are like, be excellent. Just be excellent at your craft and everything will work out.
Right.
That's the way we were taught, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's how the industry is at all anymore, but that's still part of what I want out of life through this artistic endeavor. So
I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast is just to shine light on the community, musicians who are doing it at a level that is success. We're making it as artists.
Right. We're actually living a life as a musician, and everything we're doing is part of that in some capacity. That's success. Like, I'm a teacher too, as you know.
I do.
And one of the classes that I teach is called Music as a Career. And it's a very intense class because we're always like, is this a real career? How do you have it? What defines that for you?
Yeah.
What is success? Those same questions. Yeah. And it's been very enlightening for me to see all these young adults or people even my age that are in these classes and what they want out of it, what they think is possible. It's been very enlightening.
I bet.
You know, from where I sit, I listen to these tunes that you've recreated and I see all the things you can do. And it's like, you're winning. Like, that is the goal. That should be what we all like aspire to, is to be excellent and to have this wonderful community.
Yeah. Those connections, deep, real connections. That's what art facilitates, right? When you're playing it, you're performing it. It's that deep connection that words cannot provide. And I think we all as artists have hacked that. We're like, oh, we're always in it. We're always doing that with each other and thinking about it and talking about it and striving for it.
So we cobble together this kind of living that we do that has, you know, I'm a teacher over here and I'm a composer and I'm a performer and, you know, I produce this podcast and I'm the artistic director. So what are all the things that you do? 1, 2, 3, go. No.
Well, I've spent a lot of time being a mom and having that be almost in a way like my secret world, that not that I hide it, but isn't always something you can just talk about with everybody. People don't, it's boring to people, you know, they don't want to hear a mom talk. Moms are the least respected of society. I think single moms, we're like the bottom rung. So I've spent a lot of time doing that and trying really hard to do a good job.
Yeah.
And my kids are 16 and 20, so I'm kind of like reaching semi-retirement from at least the hardest parts. I don't know, what the future holds, but that's been so much of what I've done with my life, and something I really didn't plan for myself in life. It just happened, and so it's like, okay, well, I'm doing this thing, I'm going to do it really well. So that's been a big part of who I am, and being a nurturer and a caregiver, not in my life's plan, but good for me, and I have cool kids, so that's good. Nice. And then I started teaching lessons when I was like 16 or 17. Just somebody's friend would be like, hey, can you give my little kid piano lessons? And I loved it. I love kids. I love working with kids. They're fun. They're way more interesting than adults.
Yeah.
They're so real. I was just going to say they're so real in the moment all the time.
And that's what I strive for myself too, But now I teach community college, so I teach adults. I mean, I do feel like it's a lot of my life's purpose that I didn't necessarily know that I had until I started doing it. I was like, oh, I think I'm good at this. I really care about it, and I get satisfaction from it, and it provides the exact same thing you were talking about those connections. And it's almost like we're constantly therapists for each other. Me as the teacher, them as the students. It's like this collaborative thing happening that is really like, it's so good for me and exciting for them to be entering into the music world and have a teacher that's actually doing it. I think that's really great, and that's kind of revolutionary in a lot of music education. We have like the academic world, and then we have the non-academic world, and never the twain shall meet. That's been my experience a lot. And education on one side is maybe lacking, and then on the other side, real life experience is lacking. And so I'm always trying to meet in the middle with that and provide excellent instruction and real practical application of that stuff. And like, hey, you don't really need to worry about figured bass in your life, but you do need to read a number chart, okay?
Totally.
And be excellent at what you do, like bringing that level of excellence into more contemporary styles of music. Because my students don't want to be playing Bach and stuff like that, maybe a little bit, but like, I don't know many people who are in that world anymore. And I feel like music education needs to kind of ramp up.
That's huge, because there's this huge gap, and I know so many people who've experienced that. To have someone like you who's in both is invaluable.
And there's some great people there at PCC Cascade where I teach that I know they have the same approach. They're real life musicians and have studied their craft. They've got both things, which is really important. So that's a lot of what I do. I mean, I teach 4 classes every term, so that's
it's a lot.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And then I just play. I try to write and I try to arrange. Right now I'm working on arranging a lot of this new material for live performance with different instrumentation, which is kind of new to me because I did a lot of more rock band stuff, and I'd let my musicians play what they want, which I like. But now I'm like, okay, well, if I have saxophone and clarinet and a violin and these other elements, I want to write out parts. So I'm actually doing all of that, and it's time consuming.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm like, okay, tenor, what's your sweet spot? I mean, I know how to write music, but I have a lot to learn about arranging for these other instruments that I don't know how to play.
Yeah.
Which I like. It's fun.
Yeah.
Students always, ask questions about how do I get better? Like, well, you practice and you practice because you love doing it.
Right.
You love the process of doing the thing. You don't just love the outcome. Because the outcome's actually disappointing every time. But not like it's the process is what is satisfying.
I agree. Right.
Yeah.
That's why you do it. You don't do it so then you're on TV or something. You know, like that's actually not that fun.
I've had way more fun doing like rehearsing for a show than I have like actually performing it in a lot of cases, just like everyone coming over and running through everything and, exploring stuff.
Yeah. I always say like, oftentimes film or record performances, I never want to watch it because I'm going to rip it to shreds. And I'm going to, in the moment, think I really enjoyed that and I'm really happy with what I did and who I am and I'm proud of that. And as soon as I watch a 5-second clip, I'm like, oh, pitchy.
Oh,
look at my double chin or whatever. Like I said earlier, the little voices in your mind. You can't erase them, you know?
Right.
They're systemic.
My mom used to always tell me, people don't know that. People are hearing you and listening to what you're doing, and they are just transformed by your ability to sing or to play or to just, emote for them. So even though maybe later you're going, oh man, I wish I hadn't played that horrible note in the fifth measure of the sixth song. She's like, nobody noticed that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true.
And
What people notice is the energy.
yeah.
And the confidence with which you're presenting it. And I was talking to, I'm putting a show together in March. I was talking to Renee Muskies, you know her? Because she's going to open the show and sing harmonies with me. And we're talking about putting a show together that's more than just us getting up with our little bands and playing and singing, but it's more of these elements that make it more of an experience, immersive, and trying to figure out what's the thing that really sticks out to you or attracts you when you see a performance. And what she said was like, she said she saw Tune Yards perform at Mississippi Studios or something. And that she just came out and just commanded that music, that stage. She just took charge with this confidence of like, join me in this moment. Here we are. Let's do it. And I'm here for this experience. And there was no like timidness or like, excuse me, I'm going to play now. Like, just like, here we are. Let's do it. And that's something I think we want to strive for, is not being timid, or, I mean, that's in some of these songs, right? Like I have the right to be soft and vulnerable, but I also don't want to have to be scared to express whatever it is I need to express. If that, I'm going to come out with confidence, even if it's a sensitive, quiet song. It's going to be commanding, it's going to be done with this intention and belief that it matters, because it does matter to us,
Yeah. And if it matters to us and we put that out there, then it matters to the people that are having that experience with us.
Yeah, that's what they want.
That is what they want. I want to play the other song, the Elliott Smith song.
Yeah.
I felt like you were bringing in some like Kate Bush stuff that I was really kind of like the way your voice sounded, and kind of plaintive, but also really like full of drama at the same time. And I just really, I just had a very dramatic experience. Let's listen to it when we talk about it a little bit more.
Okay. This is Not the Caring Kind.
Never mind the reason you did it anyhow. You're sorry, but you did it anyhow. You did it anyhow. Clouded by your ego, it's all you had in mind. You're sorry, but you're not the caring kind. You're not the caring kind. Intentions be damned, I guess, 'cause you're the man I'm required to understand. But how am I allow you to lie for the sake of your poorly laid plans?
We're back. Let's talk about that song.
First of all, I'm going to say I love it.
Thank you.
What do you love about it?
I listened to it last night a few times, and I mean, I immediately got the Elliott Smith thing, but it also does feel very much like an original take on it. I really love that about it. And then when I was looking at your website and reading about it, that the fact that you played all the instruments and did all the vocals is incredible. And I like the lyrics. I like the tune. I already feel like I know it after listening to it a few times. It's like, it's catchy, but it's also really interesting. And yeah.
Thank you. That's very nice. I'm always curious what people think about the lyrics, what it means to them, what they think it means, what your perception of it is. I like to hear that because I know what I mean, but it exists on its own outside of me now.
Right.
What do you think it's about, I guess, is a direct question.
I think at this point, I thought just more about the music and the vibe of it, which is kind of unusual for me because I am primarily a lyricist. So I have been taking it in more just musically and like hearing the hook. So
and like the prosody of it. You know what I mean? The sound of the word is as much of the meaning of the word in a song.
Right.
So you can get away with a lot. You can be very vague and it still feels so meaningful.
Right.
And this one, I felt specific about things. I wasn't too many metaphors or anything in it. I decided to write it about a person that I had to interact with at my job, a bad boss. I worked at this place for a handful of years and put a lot into it and had a negative experience. And so I was like, how do I describe this specific type of person or type of action? I just remember this one thing he said where he was just like, well, I'm sorry, I'm just not that nice, but I get stuff done. And I was like, that's bullshit, man. No. I don't accept that you're just not the caring kind. Essentially, that's what the title is, you know? And just because he was the boss and the man, everybody had to go along with his bad decisions. So that's kind of what it's about to me. It's not like super deep, but I thought it's just this one experience. And it's not the kind of thing I write songs about very much. I'm much more like there's this concept and it's not one time in my life or one person. Maybe sometimes relationships come into play, but this was a little different for me to write it like that. So I really wrote it because I was in like a stage of being irritated. Apparently I'm in a lot of stages like that. But I'm not, it's not like, this is what I do. I deal with it. I deal with some kind of conflict in this way. And I was like tired of people pigeonholing me or people thinking, well, you can only do this or you can only do that. And like all these assumptions they made about what I could and couldn't do or who I was. And I was like, you don't even know. You don't even know. Like, get to know me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I used to write stuff like this all the time. I can write a pop song. I can write a song like Elliott Smith. And I was like, I'm just going to do this to show people that I can do that. And I'm going to write lyrics that I care about. And I just did it as kind of a challenge to myself, but also so I feel like it's the thing people don't know about me or haven't. And sometimes I do think it's like just being a really short, innocent looking woman that I just get like overlooked a lot. And I feel like I'm always trying to overcome that. And so challenging myself to write this song was part of that expression of like, see, this is one of the many things I can do.
I wanted to ask you more about your process, not necessarily just about this song, but in general. I'm just curious, when you write, do you sit down with your guitar or your piano and you're like, I'm going to write a song, and you have a concept, or how do you do it?
I've gone through many variations of that throughout my life, you know, experimenting. Very, very rarely do I write lyrics first. I almost always write music first. I do a lot of improvising in my life. I just like to sit down and explore, and usually based on new things I'm learning or have been other songs or theoretical things I'm learning musically. And so oftentimes I just sit down and start playing the music, chords and melody, and add the lyrics later, or sometimes it happens together. But it's musical because I'm really into more than the lyrics, like, again, the prosody of the sound of it, the vowel sound. I remember hearing Joni Mitchell say something like there are different vowel sounds and they have different feelings and they go with different chords. A lot of just playing that song for a couple weeks and refining it, playing it on different instruments, playing it in different keys, exploring that, and then from that comes like arranging other parts for it. So that's kind of new. The album isn't totally out yet.
Nice.
I just have the singles I put out, but some of the newer stuff is much more in this different direction. Not a lot of drums. I don't know. I think I felt like I had to have drums and have some like rockin' songs, because that was the complaint I would always get. Like, your songs are slow, or why do you have any like dance numbers, upbeat stuff, like all the time? That was always the thing. And I was like, no. But then I did have rock stuff, you know, but now I'm like, no.
So is everything already composed, or are you doing that as you go?
75% there, maybe.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm really slow. Like, I'll write a great idea and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is going to be a song. I'm going to finish it. And then it could be a week later, and then it could be 5 years later before that song is a complete thing. And I used to get down on myself about that because I'm like, Dolly Parton writes a song every day. And, you know, you hear all of that advice people give you all the time. But now I just take it how it comes.
Yeah.
It's better if I follow the muse.
Yeah. Follow your own process. Yeah.
It seems like a lot of the messages, a lot of the lyrics in your songs are kind of about being a woman, empowering yourself, what you've gone through. So, I mean, it's perfect for the theme. And as I think we're finding out with everyone is like, it's such an integral part of your experience that you can't help but not write about those things.
Ultimately, if your purpose of writing is self-actualization and expression, you have to tell what's true.
Yep.
And I think there's a lot of things I'm trying to say that I'm not hearing other people say. And I'm trying to make it okay to talk about those things. That's what I'm trying to do. Push it a little bit.
What would be your ideal audience member? What would they walk away from your show thinking or feeling?
Well, I think about what do I want to experience when I go see someone, and I want to feel transported into a deeper place within myself through them, through what they're doing. We're sharing this transport into questioning, thinking deeper, and not even thinking in words, but feeling deeper and feeling empowered by that. Like just going to a new place within yourself. It's like creating a space or another place you're being transported to that's just like rich with whatever it is that makes music magic.
The other song you sent was Why, right? Is that the other one you sent?
That's the one that we made a music video for, too.
Oh, cool.
Where can people see this video?
You can go to my website. It's embedded right on the website, www.rachelbrashear.com. If you Google me, it pops right up. And then it's also on YouTube, so you can go to my YouTube page. You know, we're going to listen to the song Why, but we could even talk about before we listen to it in a way that connects to what we're talking about. Because it's a very different song than some of the others that I would say have more political and feminist undertones or overtones. And this song I wrote a long time ago, but I really edited it and refined it over many years, inspired by reading Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I really like reading philosophy. I'm like, could I actually write something that I'm gleaning from this? There's not very many lyrics in it. So it's not really that it's like complex lyrically. There's something else to it. But the way that art's purpose for me is to find the meaning to existence and to get through suffering. Because I've gone through plenty of suffering, as we all have. I had some very challenging times in my life where I didn't know if I would get through it. You know, I just thought, I don't know if I can survive this. This is so intense. And how did I get through it? And so some of the stuff from that book was very inspiring to me. Like, no one can take away the freedom of yourself in your mind, no matter what situation you're in. They cannot take that away from you. Don't give it away to them. I can get through if I have a why. I'll find a how if I have a why. And what I do is I take this picture in my mind, because that's one thing he says, is like, you paint a picture, you're taking that outside of yourself. So you're not just thinking of it in your mind, but then you're actually creating something tangible through action or creation or whatever it is. And there's your purpose that potentially can get you through the hardest things, because he was writing about being in a concentration camp. And he really explored those depths, you know, as much as anyone can. So that inspired me to write this song. And so when you listen to the song, it has this questioning, kind of talking about that, finding a why. And then there's another section to the song that's supposed to kind of represent my inner world artistically. And it's kind of a complete shift and opens up into, this is my why. This music, these feelings, and whatever it might be that you're getting from that. And then it's like a window into my brain, and then it goes back, and then the window shuts, and then the song ends. So that's a good preface for it, that I don't mind telling that, but this is what I hope you experience when you hear it.
I'm loving this. Okay, let's listen to Why.
Find a how and find a why and paint the picture on the outside, crumbling heart.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, damn.
Wow.
Is it creepy?
I love it.
Is it too creepy?
I don't think it's
No.
creepy.
Okay.
No, not at all.
It's compelling.
Did you want it to be creepy?
Not really, but sometimes I'm like, it could be creepy. I don't know. I don't know. You don't know how other people perceive it. I'm worried about being
God,
creepy.
no. It's
Okay.
very intriguing. I love the way that the chords change when in the beginning when you're saying why, and each chord goes to like a different tonal center, and the chords take you there, and it's really beautifully done. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's brilliant and intense in a really like almost like I needed to be by myself when I was listening to it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is bringing up a lot of stuff for me.
I feel like it's very exposed. It feels very naked, and I like that. I mean, that's one of those things I'm looking for in music, but it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot to perform.
I bet.
There's nothing worse than playing something like that in front of an audience that's not there with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm standing here naked and you're not.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, what about you, Mir?
Well, I love like when it opens up and before we turned the mics back on, we were listening and I was asking about the timing on that section, and it almost sounds like it goes into like a 3 or like a 6/8. The beat kind of flips around. You're kind of like wanting that backbeat, but doesn't always come every time. So you're like, whoa, this is
Why?
I really like.
why?
Yeah. I really like that. I like interesting rhythmic components.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like one of those early things that I remember my dad telling me I had to listen to Beatles records before he would buy me other records, modern music. And I was like, oh, time signature changes. That's not that hard, and it's really great and interesting, and pulling it off where you're still keeping some kind of flow to the song. Like I like that a lot. That part's really, it's supposed to be kind of swirling.
Yeah.
I was really into figure skating when I was a kid and dancing and things like that. And that feeling of freedom when you're skating or spinning or whatever it is, like that's kind of a feeling that music gives me that too. That soaring freedom, you know?
Well, I have just a couple other questions. One of the things we've been asking people is, do you have any advice for younger people? Well, you're a teacher, so obviously you have a lot of advice.
I tell my students, I say, make music. Be an artist. If that's really what you want to do, go full tilt for it. But be realistic about what that life is. And you're going to have to really hustle to get through the everyday humdrum life while maintaining that. But if you're going to do it all the way. Go for it.
Yeah.
And practice. Practice. Just do the thing.
Yeah.
That's something. That was my other catchphrase there for a while.
Yeah.
Just do the thing. Stop talking about the thing as we're sitting and talking about it, but just do it.
This is my guilty pleasure. What's your superpower?
Just being chill. Just chill to the max. Like when something crazy happens, I go into like hyper focus, like, all right, this is what's happening. Let's fix it. I don't get nervous. I don't get all worked up in a tizzy about stuff very often. So
Yeah, I love that. One experience I had with you, we were at a gig and I was having a bad night. I was like not able to get out of my head. I was like, I suck so bad. Oh my God, no one's hearing. It's my fault. Man. I'm wearing stupid clothes. And I just said that to Rachel. She goes, well, that stops now, doesn't it? And I was like,
Oh, yes.
it wasn't in a mean way. It was just like snap out of it. You don't have to go there. That's what I took away from it. It's like, you don't have to go there. You can just
stop doing that.
Yeah, I know. It was just like that. And I was like,
even just right there, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like, why didn't I think of that?
I really try to be that way for other people because I'm trying to be that way for myself more all the time. And the more I'm like that for other people, the more I will be generous with myself too.
This has been so much fun. I'm just so inspired by you. So thank you for doing this. It makes me want to practice. It makes me want to be excellent. Just kind of hearing your music and your story and even just a brief encounter with you. I'm like, wow, this person is so accomplished that it makes me want to be better. So I just thought I would let you know.
It's really great that we say that to each other, right? You know?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you all.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so good. Thanks, Mary.
Yay. Thanks, Leah. Bye.
Bye.
You said you love me. You said you could.
Wow.
Wow.
I love the theme that each one of our guests bubbles up to the surface throughout the interview. And I love that her whole thing is be excellent and do the thing, do it, but be really good at it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And practice.
Practice. And that when she was saying it's important that we say those things to each other, you know, take it in that, you know, yeah, I really admire you and I respect you and I love your music. And it's important that we tell each other that.
Absolutely. She's amazing.
She is. And she has a gig coming up on December 14th, a Hanukkah party with her new band. It's a klezmer style band, and they are called Warm Hearts. And they're going to be playing at the Hoku event space. Go on her website, which is rachelbrashear.com, and find out a lot more information about her. She's got music on there. You can stream it. You can buy it.
Yes.
Which is really great, and you should definitely do that.
I bought it at that concert that we went to.
Yeah.
So buy her songs are gorgeous.
They really
Listen
are.
to them.
And tell everyone you know.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too. Women Music Power is produced by,
Mariana and Leah.
it is edited by,
Mariana and Leah.
the theme song is by,
Mariana and Leah.
the conceptualization is by,
Mariana and Leah.
and mastered by
Allison Castonguay.
at Sound Travels.
Thanks, Allison.
Thank you. Check out our website at
womenmusicpowerpod.com.
Thanks for listening.